Okay. Oh, here comes David. Hi, David.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
Good. All right. So today's topic is, and I'm going to share my screen. Um, Today's topic is reasons to call and stay in flow with clients. Can you all see my screen? Yes. Okay. All right. So, um, we know here in this office that Jeremy and Jan and many of us work by referral. And we have been through various trainings. We've been through Buffini training, we've been through Ninja training, we've done, things through Long and Foster. And this is kind of a combination of all those things, and kind of packaging it a little bit together. But bottom line is, when we stay in contact with our clients, whether they be current clients that are actively in a transaction or clients that we have served and have closed, or on a purchase or closed on a sale, keeping in contact with those clients is really important for a number of reasons. So what we're going to talk about is reasons to call and how to stay in quote unquote flow with clients. And so what flow is, it's not the lady from Progressive, but what flow is basically putting our clients' needs before our own and being client centric. And what I mean by that is that, we are there for our clients, you know, before they buy a home, sell a home, during the transaction, and long after. And we want to be their trusted advisor from here on out. And not only them, but for them to give us the opportunity to serve their friends and family by um, um, referrals. So client centric, keeping our client in as our focus. To be authentic and caring. So I think all of us on this call have that nature in us where we are authentic. We care about our clients, we care about their needs, we care about the other agents on the side of the transaction. And as long as we keep kind of that focus, then likely we're going to get to the finish line. Likely we're going to make good relationships and lasting relationships with those involved. Flow is also active listening. So when we are with our clients, again, it could be at the onset of at the onset of maybe a buyer consultation, or going into a listing appointment. We want to actively listen to our clients, right? We don't want to just talk at them. We want to really hear it is that they are in need of. Hey, Donna, glad you could get here. Okay. And flow is the key, is the key to becoming a great realtor. So all these things together make us, our part and part, make us a great resource for our clients, because people prefer to work with those people who they know, like, and trust, right? You want to work with a CPA that is going to properly prepare your taxes. You want to work with a doctor who is skilled and is up on the latest medical procedures. You want to work with, the person who knows their area of expertise the best. And then position yourself as their caring and trusted advisor, right? So, you want them to feel like they can come to you whether they have a question about their transaction, or perhaps they've closed and a year later, they're wanting some information about how to renew their home warranty. So it's just those little points along the way where you can build that trust, that knowledge, and be their go-to realtor. Any questions about flow? What are some other ways that that you guys think that you could stay in flow with your clients or your potential referral partners? Maybe through client appreciation events, maybe calls to see how they're doing after a storm, for instance. There's so much going on in Florida right now, and recovery efforts in the South. There are, I know agents who are really taking a strong, they're participating greatly in helping people get the supplies they need, get, the resources they need, and they're really there for their clients right now. Hello, Betty. Betty Boyd. Is that what it says here? All right. And then again, position yourself as their trusted advisor, who is the source. So that means if they have a question about, who's your electrician that can help rewire a ceiling fan? Well, they're coming to you as the source, right? They're coming to you as who we know, like, and trust, and who we would recommend. So that's you want people to think of you and be top of mind when they're thinking of anything real estate related. So this is an interesting set of data. We've gotten this from a couple of places. NAR published this, and it talks about conversion ratios and basically how many contacts it takes to gain one piece of business, right? So you can see cold direct mail. That would be, putting in, doing a mass postcards to a particular neighborhood or so on. Now, farming is that, like, when you farm a particular neighborhood and you send a bunch of postcards randomly, farming is a little bit different, because farming, you are repeatedly, hitting those particular homes again and again. This is just out of the blue, so 2,000 to 1. It would take 2,000 impressions to get to one potential piece of business. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of money. That's, a lot of postage, all that. Very expensive. Cold internet leads. So, the leads that come through Zillow or these random websites that that some agents will buy leads. So that's 1,600 to 1. That's still a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of time. And so what we want to do is focus our time and our money on where we can get the biggest bang for our buck. So, like, cold calling. Who in here likes cold calling? I don't think anyone's going to raise their hand, right? I certainly am not. I have a hard enough time calling the people I like, let alone random people. So cold calling, 500 to 1. That means you'd have to make 500 calls to potentially get a piece of business. That's, again, a lot of time, a lot of, resources. Another favorite, door knocking. I was kind of surprised that it was even this low. So 100 door knocks to get one potential piece of business? No way. Can you imagine how long it would take you to knock on 100 doors, and how many doors wouldn't get answered or get slammed in your face. I mean, that's just, again, some people like, and I'm not saying these are right or wrong. I'm just saying for me, I know how I particularly like to do my business, and door knocking is not there. But there are lots of agents who are really successful and really like door knocking. So I'm not saying that one is right or better than the other. Just statistically, this is how NAR has found these types of outreach and how they convert. All right, connecting with friends and your sphere of influence. Okay, so we're starting to get a little better here. We're in 2 digits now. So 50 to 1, not bad, but still, we're working a little hard to get these particular pieces of business. Ad calls. Okay, so maybe you have an ad on the back of a shopping cart, or ad on a bus, or an ad, online or something like that. 21 or 25 to 1. Sign calls. If now you have to have listings to have sign calls, right? So if someone calls on your listing, that might work. You might have someone call on 123 Main Street, and you might say, well, I'm sorry, this one's under contract, but how, what are you looking for and how can I help? So, there's some opportunity there. Open houses, 15 to 1. We do open houses, and they can be very, very successful. We did an open house this weekend, and we probably had 40 or 50 people through. And we were able to capture some of their data and write notes, follow-up emails, things like that. Now, will any of them translate to a piece of business?
Maybe.
I don't know. I hope so.
It was good. I tried to get out there. I couldn't make it during those hours, but I was
that's okay.
wondering how you guys did.
Yeah, it was great. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Beautiful home. Lots of interested neighbors,
Awesome.
So it was good time. If you are here at the office at all, walk in. About buying a home here, 10 to 1. That might not be too bad. I mean, it's not a guarantee, and it's not, you kind of have to be in the right place at the right time. I've actually had a success story with this. This is when our office was still in Shore Drive, in the Shore Drive office. And I was the only agent in the office at the time. And sometimes it pays to be the only, pays to be physically in this office. And being the only licensee here. This woman walks in, and she is very nice and says, I see that your office has a listing across the street in this condo building, and I would like to buy it. I saw it online, and I want to buy this condo in cash. And I thought I was being punked. So we sat down in the conference room, had a nice discussion, got enough information from her that I felt like it was a legitimate situation, and felt safe and taking her over to the condo to see it. And sure enough, she bought it with cash just a few weeks later. So that can work. I would also maybe put duty calls in there too. I know some of you guys sit duty, and you may or may not have had experience with that. All right, now we're getting into the good stuff. So past buyers, 9 to 1. So past buyers, this is a captive audience, really, because you've served them before. You've given them great customer service, hopefully. They've written you a review, hopefully, and you have counseled them on how to. And again, keeping in touch and staying in flow with them is a way to do that. What, give me some examples of how you might stay in flow with your past buyers.
Send them birthday cards, add house of home anniversary cards.
That's a great idea.
Pod buys, definitely pod buys are really popular.
What kind of pop-bys have you been doing lately,
So
David?
I just did like a candle for like fall time, like for changing of seasons, kind of like the Ruffini that we use. But it was really nice. I actually got a few leads out of that. So I did 24.
Nice. That's a great idea. I hadn't thought of candles.
Mm-hmm.
A good idea. You are so good, David, with all your gifts and your closing gifts and the way you package everything. It just always looks so nice and professional.
Oh, thank you.
Clients always look so happy.
Mhm.
All right, so past sellers. Now, we're at 4-1. And so, as we know, working with buyers and sellers are different processes and require different levels of service and different types of service. So if you stay in touch with your sellers, and you stay in flow with them, you're likely to get some business. How are some ways that we can stay in touch with our sellers? What about
Updating them on the value of their home and the appreciation since they bought it. And again, the same things, cards, pop buys too.
Yeah. What about at tax time, sending them their settlement statement for their
That's a
taxes?
good one. That works well.
And, obviously they would have their settlement statement from their purchase from the attorney's office, but sometimes that stuff gets buried, right? And, you're like, oh my gosh, it's time to put all the stuff together for the accountant. Where did I put that settlement statement from our sale? So if you send it to them, with a nice cover letter in the, middle of January, say, you might be helping them greatly and saving them some headache. We typically do that second week in January. We send physical copies of their settlement statement, a cover letter, and in the cover letter, just says, hey, thought you might be able to, or you might need this for your upcoming tax preparations. And then, obviously we look for an opportunity to say if they have any referrals to let us know. So that's another way to stay in touch with sellers. Buyers, getting back to buyers, Donna, you mentioned the home values. So right now, if you have buyers that purchased, say, 2, 3, 4 years ago, it might be a good idea to reach back out to them, right? And let them know what the values in their neighborhood are. They might be curious. They're probably watching anyway. They're probably looking at Zillow. They're probably, looking online, but you can be there as the trusted source of information, right? Because we know sometimes Zillow can not be, wholly accurate. So reaching out to your buyers, the home anniversary, that's a great one, Donna. And, keeping little notes in your calendars to ping you. Okay, a year's come up. I need to reach out to, Mary Smith because she bought her home this time last year. You can send them a bottle of, leave a little pop by on their front stoop or send them a little card or something like that. So always a good reason. All right. And then last but not least, we have referrals. So 3-2. So your best odds are the 3-2, right? Are the referrals. So by staying in flow with our clients, right? We know their needs, we know their wants, we understand where they are in life. And then we can come to our relationship with them based on authenticity. How are some ways that we can keep track of our clients and what's going on with them? How about Facebook?
Social media, definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good one. Yeah.
There are three magic phrases that we learned when we did the Ninja selling program, the installation, where a lot of this comes from. The first one is thank you. So you might see someone online that is maybe a first responder, or maybe they're a nurse, or maybe they're a teacher or something. You could write them a card, say, hey, thank you for your service, or thank you during Teacher Appreciation Week or Nurses Week or something like that. Or just, if you have an opportunity to thank someone that you see on a regular basis, your mail carrier, your hairdresser, your, whomever, look for opportunities to say thank you. Congratulations. That's another way we can look online and see maybe one of your clients had a grandchild recently, or maybe a graduation, a wedding, something like that, new baby, new job, anything like that you can reach out to say, great job, or way to go. Another one is, I was just thinking about you. You can reach out to somebody for no reason at all, right? You can just say, hey, I was just driving down the road and you popped in my mind and I just wanted to see how you're doing. You're not asking them for business. You're not talking about real estate. You are just asking or inquiring about them and letting them know that you genuinely care. And I promise you, ultimately, the real estate topic will likely come up, right? How many times have you been talking to somebody about something completely different, and they're like, oh my gosh, I saw that house down the street from me just went on the market. Or do you know how much, XYZ house sold for? Or, what are interest rates these days, right? It a lot of times goes back to real estate, and you can just naturally follow that. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Don't force it, because it will ultimately happen. And they are just appreciative of you calling, right? And, along that line, I was just thinking of you. You were on my mind. What if, if someone has been sick, or someone has been in the hospital, or, maybe someone had a loss of a family member, or a pet. We send a lot of pet sympathy cards. We send, and by Facebook, this is how we're finding out about these things. So, scrolling for a purpose, right? Not just to look at cute cat videos. We're looking to help, check in on our clients. So, any questions about this stuff? It's pretty good information here that NAR put together. So really, it shows you where for the most bang for your buck, where to spend your time, right? And your money. I'd much rather spend my money on pop buys, right? Or closing gifts, or cards, birthday cards and postage, than I would a cold direct mail piece. That's personally for me. Again, other agents may use those and have grand success with that. So another way that we stay in flow is by asking forward questions. So what are Ford questions, you ask? Well, Ford question, it's an acronym, and the F stands for family. So when you are, texting or calling, you're somebody, you can say, how's the family? And maybe they have a child going off to college. Hey, I'm just checking in on you to see how you're doing as an empty nester. I did that a few months ago because, a lot of my friends have children the same age as me, and we are now in a group of empty nesters. So that's a transition, right? So how's the family? And then you can get points of pleasure and points of pain from people or changes in their life. And we'll talk about more. O is for occupation. Hey, how's work going? I saw on Facebook that you got it recently. How's that going? Or, retirement. Say, hey, how's retirement? How are you doing in retirement? And people love to talk about that. And, you have to remember the people's most favorite topic is talking about themselves. So if you ask a lot of questions and do that active listening, you'll likely find out a lot of good information. So with occupation, what if they have a job transfer? What if they are suddenly now having to work from home? What if, they are going back to the office to work? These are all changes that you can listen for to see how their housing might change, their housing needs, right? Okay, so someone lives in Norfolk, but you know what? I just accepted a new job in Dallas. Okay, how can I help with that? So maybe referring them to an agent in Dallas, of course, maybe selling their property here or putting it into property management. For family, what if a family is combining households, to more of a multi-generational family? That's a consideration. They're going to need a larger home. They're going to need a home that has a first floor bedroom, things like that. So looking for signs of change. Recreation. Okay, so what if you're calling someone or talking with someone and they start talking about their golf game. Hey, how's your golf game doing these days? I probably wouldn't ask that because I'm not a golfer. I don't know much about golf. But and they said, gosh, my golf game, I really need to work on it. And one day I would love to live on a golf course. That's my dream. Okay. So then you say, well, what would that look like? What if you had a magic wand and could wave that magic wand, where would you want to live on a golf course? And so you're asking them, pointed questions. What if they have a child who plays travel sports? Hey, how's Joey? I hear he's in the baseball playoffs or something. How's that going? Just things like that. Recreation. They could have hobbies like, I don't know, can't think of any right now, but maybe they love to walk on the beach, Donna, and take photographs. Well, wouldn't it be great if I could walk along the beach every morning and take photographs of the sunset and the sunrise? So things like that. And dreams. So this is that magic wand. So what if you could live on the ocean? What if what is it that you hope for? And maybe you're talking to somebody and they're like, it would just be so great to have a place where my family and I could go on the weekends. Okay. So maybe that means that to start talking about having a second home or, you know, a vacation property, things like that. So what you're doing is you're listening for changes, whether they be pain points or pleasure points. So in your experiences, when you've been helping clients, what have been some changes that have been points of pain and that you've helped them through?
Losing a loved one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Having to sell a house that's now in an estate situation, maybe.
Divorce too. Have
Divorce, that's a big
a divorce.
Mm-hmm. Divorce.
Well, occupation definitely. We have a lot of like military people in this area, so they're constantly relocating.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And we help, you know, 40% of our market share is military, right? I think Jeremy did those numbers a while back, and
Yeah.
that's a huge portion of our client pool here. And so how can we listen and help our clients who are making a military move? Maybe talk to them about either selling their house or keeping their house as a rental property. You know, that's how I know some people have built a lot of wealth, is that as they move around for being in the military, they purchase a home, they stay in it a couple of years, they get new orders, they keep that home, take the equity out of that home to buy their next home. So, but keep that as a rental. So that's not only a, occupational need, but it's a potential financial benefit, right? And then the pleasure. So, having an expanded family, having hobbies or things that people do that they want to, have a lifestyle. Right now, Johnson and Burge, we're doing a lot with the senior community because there are going to be, I forget the number now, but I think it's like 7 million people are going to be turning the age of 65 within the next 2 years or something like that. It's a huge number, and it's called, Buffini calls it the silver tsunami, right? But not all of these retirees or these folks are going to go into a nursing home. They're going to actively retire, right? 5 is not your grandmother's 65.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think 65 is the new 45.
Thank you. I creep up on 2 months away from 65, but yeah, and just a lot of my friends, oh, these 3 stories are killing us, so everybody wants a ranch or at least a first floor master.
Mm-hmm.
People, life changes, getting sick. One of my neighbors, she had a massive stroke about 6 months ago. She's been in Westminster ever since. And I'm trying to help him with getting the care in to talk to about bringing her home, but they don't have a first floor master. I don't know if he wants to sell, and that's a very delicate subject right now.
Sure.
They told him, if you want me to help you find a 1-story place where you could both, live, let me know. And, that's about as far as he's very emotional about this. He is there from
Sure.
5 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. And so, yeah, I'm just going to drop some flowers by, but
I know. You're so good with that kind of thing, Donna. You're so good about, caring for people and
yeah, but that doesn't always
filling
get
their
me
buckets.
or maybe I don't stay on them enough because I care, but then you watch people go, oh, well, there went a for sale sign. What the hell? So, I mean, maybe I'm missing some aspect of, I don't know. I just care. And like I said, they know I care. They know what I do. And I'm just going to, but I feel so bad for them every single day. And how life can change. I just lost a friend at 55 years old to cancer.
Mhm.
So, just Friday and, but huge changes
Yeah.
can just happen and you never
Yeah.
know when. So
Yeah.
anyway, thanks for listening.
Sure. Well, and this is where we can serve as a resource, right? So there are, there are companies out there that can help seniors downsize in terms of their belongings, or there are companies that can come in. Kim, I'm sure you kind of are maybe somewhat aware of what resources are out there for for people who are having mobility issues or things like that. And so obviously we're not in healthcare by any means, but we can be the source of the source. We work with a company called Ideal Organizing. And, for seniors, if they are needing to, say, transition to a care facility, or if they need to reconfigure their current home, say to maybe move a bedroom downstairs, and reconfigure a space there, they come in and they help with decluttering, um, organizing, and moving
What's
kind of
the
thing.
name of that place again?
It's called Ideal Organizing.
Okay,
And I have their contact information I
okay,
can share with you.
thank you.
But it can be a real benefit to somebody who, a caregiver especially. So definitely that's a pain point, and a time when someone's life is changing. And so that's why, being in the positions that we are is really humbling, because, this is someone's life, this is someone's home. And, it's not just a paycheck, right? It's not a commission. Yes, we are here to get paid. This is our career. Obviously, we're not working for free, but by the same token, we are coming to it from a place of service. So.
That's for sure.
And then when we're talking about these things, asking the forward questions, or staying in flow with our clients and our contacts, if you're talking to someone, you can always say, tell me more about that. If they bring up something, say, they're looking to maybe relocate because they want to take up goat farming. I don't know. But, well, tell me more about that, and let them talk. It's part of the active listening. And then you, again, can look for points of pain and points of pleasure. I know nothing about goat farming, so I don't know. I'm assuming you need a lot of land for goat farming. So, okay, what would that look like? And then you can say, wow, if you had a magic wand, where would you be goat farming? So you can ask a lot of questions without being kind of creepy and uh, too nosy. Because you want, again, people that to like and trust you. And it's building these kind of relationships and deepening them that ultimately will make you top of mind and make you their realtor of choice. And this aligns a lot with the Buffini system. The calls, the notes, the pop buys, the check-in calls, all things. This is not rocket science, right? This is just being really a good person, and kind of living by the golden rule, right? You want to treat others how you'd want to be treated. And so, as we do this, we're kind of building those layers. It's kind of the compounding effect, because it all then our marketing, right? Our marketing, our mailings, our social media posts, our you know, the information that we do in that respect, that then compounds on the relationship building we do. So we have kind of the proof of production or the expertise in what we do. And then we have the building of the relationship. And so by, you know, layering those things, that is how you are demonstrating your value, not only as a realtor, but as a person. And so, you know, of course, there are all these kind of touchy-feely things that we're talking about today, but it has to work in conjunction with, you know, the professional side, right? Have you all had any experience, or tell me about your experience where you've kind of blended the two together, maybe? Maybe, you know, we do our pie parties, right? And Kim, have you been here since we did our last pie party? I don't know.
It's always the Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
several of us.
no, I haven't been here since the pie party. so.
Okay. So I don't know if you're familiar, but basically what we do is we invite our clients, invite them to choose a pie flavor, and it's right before Thanksgiving. And then we have an event here at the office, and we encourage we invite our clients. They've told us what kind of pie they want, and then they come and pick them up. And we have, you know, a little gathering out in the parking lot. They drive up, they get their pie. We do a little bit of chit-chatting, you know, how's life, how's the holiday, how's the new house, things like that. They get their pie and they go on. So those of us in the Buffini system have been doing this for the last few years, and it's really, you know, really special and really successful, and our clients like it. And it's a good opportunity to not only showcase us and our office and what we've done, but also to thank our clients too. So, you know, kind of a little bit of both. The other thing with staying in flow with people is making it relevant to them. So an example, we had, we had a Yappy hour last year where we invited our clients who have dogs to a Yappy hour. And so that's customized to our clients who have dogs. And so, you know, people love their dogs, as, you know, Jeremy and Jan and I do as well. So we wanted to do something like that. So that is a kind of a relational thing that targets a certain segment of our database. If you have something with kids, you know, say, I know agents that do like a pumpkin patch thing, or you know, an ice cream event or whatever. So, you know, just look for little ways to you know, love on your clients in ways that mean something to them. You wouldn't necessarily invite, you know, some downsizers to a, you know, a pumpkin hayride patch where there's going to be all the kids' games. You know, you might not do that. You might have something that speaks more to their wants and needs. So just looking for things that kind of are relatable. So we talked about flow, we talked about forward questions. That's pretty much all I have. Does anybody, I would love to hear from you guys, like what successes you've had or what questions you have about staying in flow or how to do the forward questions, I'm here for it. So let me know.
It's all good info. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I challenge you today, at some point to reach out to somebody and think about how you're going to stay in flow with them and ask them some forward questions. And not only that, okay, so real quick, once you're done or, once you've gotten a piece of information, then it's like, what's next? What do I do with it next? Do I need to follow up with them? Is there an actionable that I need to do? Because what you don't want to do is talk to somebody and say, oh yeah, I will put you in touch with an agent in Dallas, but then you forget to get them in touch with an agent from Dallas. So, how are you going to remember that? Are you going to put them, put this information in your CRM to remind you, hey, I need to do this, or put it in your gold mine pipeline, right? The Sherry Johnson program, always keeping that, because you might forget. I know I forget all the time. So it's really important to keep track of this stuff. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here, and appreciate you being here while Jeremy is out in Oklahoma City. So
Wow.
yep. So next time, well, I'm not exactly sure what the next topic will be, but obviously it will be on the office Facebook page. So keep a lookout for that. Okay.
Okay. have a
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
so
Talk
much.
soon.
Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.